This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Central Texas Life with Ann Harder presents Central Texas Events.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Events. And Clint Lynch is here with us, the general manager of Oakwood Cemetery. And you have a very exciting thing happening tomorrow. That would be the 12th of April.
Yes.
And this is at the cemetery, and it's something that's focusing on famous Waco women who are
at Oakwood.
interred
Yes.
at Oakwood.
Yes.
Is this a new thing?
We've done, this is through Waco Walks that act locally, and this is the second year we've done this. Last year we just focused on Oakwood. This year we're trying to change it up a little bit to make it a little more interesting, and we're focusing on the women, some of the women that are buried at Oakwood that have interesting stories.
Mm-hmm. And there are many because, for many years, the Walking Tales, right? But that's always in October.
Right.
That's just a wonderful event that the Waco Storytellers Guild
does.
Guild
yes.
does, and of course, they dress up in character, in costume, and different ones. Often they're Kate Ross, different ones that you can think of that are famous, legendary Wacoans that are there. They would take on that persona. So will this one here in the spring, is that going to be like that, or just someone talking about some of the women?
Unfortunately, it's just going to be me parading.
Oh, okay. There you. So you're a lead.
Yes.
It's like a guided tour,
It is
and
a
you are
guided
it.
tour
Okay.
of
All right.
Oakwood.
Well, that's good.
Yes, so
That's good.
you get the crowd gets to follow me around.
Okay.
And, we'll hit the highlights as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
I've been studying up on this, trying to memorize as much as I can about some of these individuals. But
Well, I've heard you do a program before on famous women, so you've got a lot of that in the noggin. I know.
A lot of it is. It's the hard part sometimes is getting it out of my head, and making sure that I don't get the stories confused with one another.
Right.
But
Because there were quite a few ladies
there are.
that are very, very interesting. So who are some of the ones we'll be hearing about?
Some of the people, of course, we've got Nell Pape, who
Right.
the Pape Foundation.
Right.
Kate Ross. We've got the infamous Molly Adams.
Of course.
That
You can't
talk
Oakwood
about Waco women without Molly.
without talking about Molly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Go ahead and tell them what she was.
Molly was Waco's most famous madam.
Yeah.
She ran the best house in town. So, I don't know. That ended long before.
Of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
but-
You do not have personal knowledge.
No,
of
I
any
do
of this.
not. I do not. But so we've got Molly. We've got 3 First Ladies of Texas.
Ah.
Murdy Neff.
Pat Neff's.
Pat Neff's wife. Elizabeth Ross, who was Sol Ross's wife. And Mary Evans Koch, who was Koch. Just lost his last. See, it's hard getting it out of my head sometimes. Governor Koch, Senator Koch's wife.
Okay.
And she was on the first board of directors for Oakwood.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Oakwood proper. It is a beautiful final resting place.
Yes.
For very famous Wacoans and not so famous Wacoans. Full disclosure, I am on your board.
Yes.
And have been for a little while, and consider it an honor to be a part of a group of people that are kind of overseeing just the beauty of it and making sure things run smoothly.
Right.
Yep.
Well, the interesting thing about the board, though, is you're talking about Waco women. The board of Oakwood has been since 1898 all female.
Yeah.
So, the cemetery was originally started in 1878 as a city cemetery, and Oakwood fell into disrepair. So the story I kind of tell is the town fathers gave the cemetery to their wives to take care of.
Ah.
And so that's how the board has always been female since 1878.
But it's not really in the bylaws that it has to be that. I was under the
Correct.
impression. So the
Well,
next board may have some guys on it. You never know.
I being a historian in nature, I'm a traditionalist, and
me too.
I love the tradition of it.
I do too.
But
Well, and women have tended to be the grave tenders. I
Yes.
mean, when it comes to putting the flowers out, and they're going to motivate doing that.
and Oakwood's almost 150 years old.
Yeah.
So in the 130 something years that the cemetery has been run by a female board of directors, we haven't done too badly.
No. No.
So
Well, but you are, a slave to the elements if it comes to that. You have beautiful trees. We've had some droughts. I mean, just what I've learned as a board member, just some of the nuts and bolts of running something like that, is it's expensive to make sure that those trees are
well,
maintained.
our arborist calls this an urban forest.
Yeah.
And back when we started really focusing on our trees, we were at about 2,500.
Yeah.
And we've lost several hundred since then. And so trying to take care of the heritage oaks, the beautiful old oaks, and that gets expensive.
Yeah.
They have to be fed, they have to be pruned, and not just anybody can show up with a truck and a chainsaw to prune one of our trees.
Right.
Got to be a registered arborist.
Yeah, and you are somewhat strict about what can go out there and when things can go out there to decorate graves.
Yes.
Speaking of which, that's probably the biggest headache you get is people getting upset because you pulled out Mama's fake Easter
Right,
lilies.
yeah.
So just go over what are the rules.
Well, fresh cut flowers are always welcome.
Yeah.
Artificial flowers are allowed at Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Memorial Day. A week before, they're allowed to go out and must be picked up within a week after. Mm-hmm. And we have those rules because...
and it's on the sign.
We have it on our sign. We have it on our website.
Yeah.
It's been, branded into my head. But we do that because when you buy property at Oakwood, the maintenance is included. We're going to mow, we're going to weed eat, we're going to water. And so we've got to be able to get in and take care of that property.
Yeah.
So.
And so you don't need a lot of stuff.
Right.
Out there, but it is a beautiful cemetery, and I happened to one Saturday we were out there and a vandal had gotten in, and that was when the William Cowper Braun lamp was stolen. I mean, and so as someone who's has a heart for Waco history, has a heart for the importance of a cemetery. Oh my word! And they had broken off the hands of angels.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah,
and there's just a special place in the bad place waiting for people that do that.
Well, I don't understand, why somebody would even consider doing that.
I know.
That's just, that's just meanness. Mm-hmm. That is just beyond me.
Yeah, but I can't think of other than that one incident. Comes to my mind. So it's locked up.
We lock
in
the
the
gates
evening,
every night.
in
at
the
sunset.
evening. But it's open. I mean, I don't know. There are joggers that go out there. I mean, there are people that just go for the peace and the solitude and the beauty.
Well,
of a
that's
cemetery.
what I love is that it's a cemetery, yes, but it's also a part of the community,
Yeah.
a part of that neighborhood. There's so many Baylor students around. The Baylor students come and walk and jog and study, and family members will come out and just have a picnic,
Right.
with a loved one that's there under the
Yeah,
trees.
yeah.
And that's what makes it special. And that's what cemeteries are for. I mean, gosh, I learned to drive in the cemetery.
Mm-hmm. Did you
So
really?
I did.
Yeah,
did.
you of course at Oakwood you have to avoid that big tree that's kind of in the middle
Exactly.
of the road.
Exactly. But that gives you, keeps you on your toes.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yes.
For sure. Well, again, this event on Saturday the 12th begins at what time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. So it's early. We're talking maybe 1.5 mile to 2 mile total walk.
Possibly. It just kind of depends on the group sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the group will help steer.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this person? Can we talk about them? And we'll walk over there and
Right.
talk to.
Right.
And unfortunately, I can't cover everybody I
Well, I
want
was
to
going
cover.
to say, I mean, it's
Yeah,
that would be a daunting task.
It would. I've got a list of 27 people that I've had to trim down a little bit.
Right.
And, I can, point them out and say, well, she's over there. But, I hate to miss anybody.
Well, there are some fascinating people
Just.
that are at Oakwood, just based on my going to the Oakwood Walking Tales in the fall, and mark your calendar for that. It's always the second.
Third
It's
Saturday.
at the third Saturday of
October.
October. And it, often the weather's just beautiful. In October you can get fabulous days.
Yes.
So is this a rain or shine event in case it? I don't think it's going to rain on Saturday.
I don't think
I think
so.
we're clear for Saturday.
I jokingly say it doesn't rain at Oakwood, but every once in a while it does. Last year, I led this in the rain.
Did you?
It rained on us almost the whole time.
Really?
And we had over 50 people. and
Clint,
everybody
really?
was just, just loving it.
Uh-huh.
And as long as they're interested,
Yeah.
and the group's interest really helps my interest,
Right.
and helps me. If they're not feeling it, I can kind of tell. So
Yeah, I
but,
need to say, let's
but
move
these are-
on to the next
exactly.
thing.
But these people are, these are hardcore history goers. Mm-hmm. And,
Yeah, right.
And Act Locally, they go all over Waco.
Yeah.
And do all sorts of different areas.
Yeah. Of course, Ashley Bean Thornton
Yes.
and Jennifer Ritchie, both very involved in planning this event. So how can folks get more information?
They can go to Act Locally through their website, Waco Walks. I think they're asking them to sign up.
Well, that way you'll know.
Exactly.
Because if it's too big a crowd, will they be able to hear you?
Well, they do have a.
You have a little
they have a
amplification?
Portable,
Good.
They have a little portable sound system.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
So.
Yeah, because I'm getting where it's like, what did he say? Okay. Well, this is 2124 South 5th Street. If you don't know where Oakwood is, and if you've never been out there, do go and take a drive around this beautiful, and of course, the wonderful time of year. And soon the crepe myrtles will be blooming. Beautiful time. And can we talk about the Arboretum thing or not?
Well, we haven't gotten notification yet. So.
Okay. Well, we're thinking about something
Yes.
very exciting.
Yes.
In the
exactly.
future.
Very much so.
A designation that will,
Yes.
enough said.
Single us out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about Oakwood right now is, I use this term and people snicker when I say it, but Oakwood's kind of coming alive right now. The trees are budding out, the
So
grass
as to
is coming
speak.
in, spring has sprung
Yeah,
at
it has.
Oakwood.
It has.
And so the crepe myrtles are budding out. We don't have any blooms yet. That'll be this summer when it gets hot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Oakwood's really starting to come into spring.
Yeah. Well, you have been at the helm for how many years now?
Next week will be 9 years.
9 years.
Yes.
Well, doing a great job,
Thank you.
and it's an honor to get to work with you on the board and to have you be a part of this and to lead out with this fascinating slice of history for Waco.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and I have a history degree, and so it makes my job more fun.
Yeah.
Because I can be walking around the grounds looking for something and literally stumble over somebody that I knew was out there. I just didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
they tend to sneak up on you when you're not looking for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful place. Mike and I have our slots out there someday. We hope a long way off.
Yes, we've
But-
been busy, so the more time people can give us, the better.
Yeah. Okay. Will do
Yes.
as much as I have control over that.
Right.
Oh, Clint. I mean, it's great. It's great to have you here, and to thank you for being with us as well for Central Texas events. Hope to see you at this wonderful. What is the official name? Women of Oakwood.
Women
Walk?
of Oakwood, yes.
Women of Oakwood Walk, Saturday, April 12th, 9 a.m. Bye bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.